Good morning, my brothers and sisters. Join me and let's hear of a guy who has an encounter with God and he ends up raging against God. He has fury and it's going to end up in killing innocents. All right, so let's summarize the threat to the unborn Jesus. First of all, he might have been disowned by his father Joseph. That was kind of his intent. Secondly, there was a threat of the stoning death of Jesus because of the infidelity or the perceived infidelity of Mary. Thirdly, now for our story today, is we get this threat of Herod. So Herod's been a king of many decades, actually, and now he hears about this new king and foreigners coming, the wise men, at great length, great distance, great expense, bringing great gifts that maybe he found out about. And then probably the most threatening thing is they said they came to worship him. So there's no question that Herod wants to kill Jesus, and probably the witnesses themselves, that is, the wise men. So remember, Herod killed his own children and his own wife, so killing wise men is nothing. So let's see in our story today how Jesus is protected by his father Joseph and his Father in heaven. Now, Joseph had already obeyed an angel. He had set his mind to divorce Mary quietly. Angel comes and he changes his mind. The angel appeared to Joseph in a dream. That was dream number one. And then we get this other one now about fleeing to Egypt, which has been the traditional enemy of Israel. It's the neighboring country, and their fate are wrapped up and always will be wrapped up by the fate of Israel. So Herod is going to be searching for a child. Now imagine an infant that is the subject of a military-grade investigation with full resources being pursued, the commitment of a very committed Herod. And all that is at his disposal, which is significant since he kind of runs the state, will be brought to bear in this search. And the end point of this, in verse 13 of chapter 2, is Herod is about to search for the child to destroy him. So they definitely want to find him and kill him. So this is serious stuff. All right, so back to Joseph. He gets another dream and he rises and he takes Mary to Egypt. He has no delay. Let me pick up the story in Matthew chapter 2, verse 16. Then Herod, when he saw that he had been tricked by the wise men, became furious, and he sent and killed all the male children in Bethlehem and in all that region who were 2 years old or under, according to the time that he had ascertained from the wise men. Then was fulfilled what was spoken by the prophet Jeremiah. And then he quotes from Jeremiah. A voice was heard in Ramah, weeping and loud lamentation, Rachel weeping for her children. She refused to be comforted because they were no more. So when the story started earlier in chapter 2, Herod was troubled. He was stirred up. He was agitated and in distress. He was confounded or disquieted by. Now he's turned into fury. So Herod tried to trick the wise men into going and finding in Jesus, coming back and reporting his location under the guise that Herod too wanted to worship. Now Herod finds out that rather than tricking the wise men, which is what he was purposing to do, he himself has been tricked, not by the wise men, but really by the Lord. The Lord tricked the tricker. So he thinks it's the wise men that tricked him, and that they acted duplicitously. But no, Herod is tricked by God himself. He sends a dream to those guys and says, go back by another direction. So here's a pro tip for you. If you ever find out that you're at the forefront of the mind of God, that his attention is directed at you, that you likely have a choice, which is to yield and obey and submit. Or, in Herod's case, you can decide to be furious and rage and have exceeding anger towards him. So Herod is at front and center of the attention of God. And does he put his hand over his mouth because of God's holiness? Does he reconsider his personal trickery towards the wise men? Does he get on his knees for what he is considering? No. He rages, and even worse, he says, kill them all. Kill the infants. Kill the newborns. Kill the toddlers. Kill them in Bethlehem and kill them in the surrounding areas. Talk about rage of the innocents. So this could have been strategic, but the beauty of the scripture is we also see the interior life of Herod. And we see his actions and also their motivation. So he starts out being troubled, being disturbed when he hears about the Lord. And I think that's a universal thing. Many people should be troubled when we find out about the power and the purpose of the Lord. Maybe we all start out as troubled. But let's stop before the fury, not at the wise men, but the fury directed at God. So Herod is a wonderful example of what exactly not to do when you're furious at God, when your sin has been exposed, when your relationship with him has been laid bare. So why do we kill children, born and unborn, in our society? Is it because of their sin? Their violation of their position with God? No. Is it because of something they have done? No. It's because of something we have done. Who? The adults in the room. Why might we kill innocent children? Well, it's because of our sin. So let's be very careful in our troubling. Herod had choices in his troubling before God. He too could have really wanted to worship and yield and obey, or he could have raged, and raged with power, and raged with power he did. Certainly power over innocent lives. So let's be careful what we do to the lives of the unborn and the born, the innocent. Let not our rage against God result in rage against the innocent. Should we have fury? No. Lord, bend us towards faith, not fury. Guard our hearts towards the innocent. Let's not rage against God in this particular way. Thanks for listening.